This is exactly how I would scale Parse.bot if I was running their SEO. It's a solid product and I'll show you why in a minute, but right now they are leaving serious money on the table by skipping SEO and AI SEO. So I went ahead and built a complete SEO roadmap for them to not only rank them number one on Google, but also get them mentioned in LLMs like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and others. So let's dive in. Alright, let's talk about KPIs. Since their website is currently not ranked for any non-branded keywords, it's like a ghost in search engines and LLMs. So our main KPI is to increase their total number of impression and clicks, and also increase the total number of ranking keywords. So basically what we want to do is create a strategy that helps them to grow their organic traffic, their inbound traffic from other keywords rather than their brand keywords. All right, let's start with the first step in our roadmap, which is fixing their landing page. If I had to describe their product in a way that grabs attention, I'd say they're like Cursor but for web scraping. That was my first impression. When I tested it, I opened a new chat, I told what I wanted, I give it a URL, and it generated the API for me that I could use in order to scrape that website. But if we look at their current landing page, we can see that their current H1 is turn any website to an API. And if we check their title tag, we can see that it's data from anywhere. Neither of these are explaining what they are actually doing in plain English, and they don't target the keyword that their ICP, their ideal customer profile, are likely would search for, right? So basically what they do is web scraping. And the first keywords that their ICP would search for is things like web scraping. Let me see. Yeah, web scraping API, web scraper, AI web scraper, AI scraper. And you can see all of them have different keyword difficulty, different monthly volume. But what we can also do is check their competitors and see what keywords their competitors are using. So I created this Google Sheet that we are going to circle back a lot to it. But for example, if we open their competitors, I also sorted these competitors based on their total number of traffic, monthly traffic. And if we open few of them, let's open the top three, we can see that they are using web scraper here in their H1, in their hero section. They are using the web scraper again in their subparagraph. They are also exploiting a technique, let's say, which is using the exact domain name. So I think you can see my browser URL, but if you notice here, their domain name is exactly webscraper.io. So it's a nice hack that you can use by the exact domain name that you want to rank for it. And they are doing that. But if we open the second competitor, we can see in their H1, they are again targeting web scraper. They are here targeting web scraping. Let's see, again, web scraper. Let's check their title tag. So in their title tag, they are also using free web scraping. Web scraper, Parse.bot is a free web scraping tool. You see, they are using their primary keyword not only in their H1, not only in their content, but also in the title tag, also in the meta description. And this is the primary keyword that gives you two benefits. First of all, when someone opens your landing page, they instantly understand what your website is talking about, what they can do with it. And the second thing is it helps you a lot to have an easier time when you want to rank for a certain keyword in Google and LLMs. We can open a scraping bee. It's completely same. They are targeting web scraping API. And here, scraping API. If we just search, let's search scrape, we can see they are using the scrape keyword in 20 different parts of their website. Let's say scraping 85 different parts of website they are using, even though like their own name is also counting here. But still, if we look like another H2 here, another heading, they are using AI web scraping, so another keyword they are targeting. So when we compare that to their website, to your website, what we can notice is, let's search scraping, scrape, okay, 6 places in tiny paragraphs, and the rest of it is actually in the code or in the URL example. So this is not what you have to do. What you want to do is select one of these primary keywords, ideally one of them that has a lower keyword difficulty but still have some level of search volume. So for example, AI web scraper has a KD keyword difficulty of 57, but the monthly search volume is just 110. Instead, web scraper, even though it has a little bit more higher difficulty, the volume is much higher. So I think this one is a good keyword that you can target. We have AI scraper, but I think website scraper is a good primary keyword that you can target in different ways, just like what web scraping bee is doing. They are targeting web scraping API, and in the other places they are like targeting the AI web scraping and other variations of that keyword. And that's what you have to do too. You have to select the primary keyword, make sure to put it in your H1, make sure to put it in your title tag, in your meta description, in the paragraph below the H1, and also put it naturally through your content in all the other H2s you have in your website, in all the other content you have in your website. Even add a little bit more content to your landing page. So not only you help the readers, your visitors, to understand you better, but you also help search engines to index you for the keywords that actually matter for you. All right, if I was running their SEO, the next thing that I would lock in was a great content strategy. You might think SEO is dead and nobody reads blog posts anymore, and you're right, but have you ever asked ChatGPT something that needed fresh data? What did it do? It searched the web, skimmed bunch of articles, and give you the summary of the research it did. So if you want to show up inside LLM mentions, if you want to get cited, if you want to mention for the answers it gives, for the questions that your ICP might ask, you need a content strategy that can earn those citations, that can earn those type of mentions. So what I would like to use is really simple. I like to spy on your competitors, especially the big ones that we listed here, and find the bunch of content they have that is still getting traffic, but have a low to medium keyword difficulty, and export them all and list them for you to just create them. So here is a list of 40 different contents that your competitors have, but you don't. And most of this content are getting like a good amount of volume, and they all have a keyword difficulty of like literally 0 to medium. So that's exactly what I expect you to do, or what I would do if I was running your SEO. I would use this content, recreate them, and post them on your blog every day. And Basically, that's it. That would be your whole content strategy for the next 14 days. The content you create needs an edge though. It needs to give LLMs kind of fresh data or specific data that they don't have it already trained on themselves. For example, what you can do, let me see if I put any example here. Yeah, for example, what you can do is create these kind of educational contents that you walk them through on how to scrape a specific brand or a specific website. So here, for example, a scraping dog have this content that talks about scraping Glassdoor jobs. And this is exactly the type of content that you can use in order to get those mentions. But how? So if you read this article, it is like an in-depth article that goes through how to use Selenium and Python in order to scrape Glassdoor, right? And it just talks about that, just talks about that. And if we come to the end of this article, we notice this tiny section here that is talking about the problem that you might face when you're scraping the Glassdoor, which is getting blocked, which is a pretty common thing that happens when you're web scraping. So what they did is they are using this problem in order to create an angle to subtly introduce themselves as a solution that can help you avoid this problem. And that's exactly what you want to do with your educational content. You want to create educational content that needs a fresh data, which in your case, you can create a how-to guide on how to actually scrape any like reasonable brand after. And after that, at the end of it, just subtly introduce yourself as a better solution to scrape that website, as a better way to don't deal with all of the proxy rotation, getting blocked, captcha, and all those things. Just type what you want, enter the URL, you get the API, and you're good to go. So that would be the exact content strategy that I would do if I was running your SEO. I think if we, yeah, look here, I put another example, which is from Scraping Bee. They are again doing the same thing, how to bypass reCAPTCHA and edge captcha when web scraping. And if you look at the content, it's following the exact same thing I told to you. It's an in-depth article first talking about different captchas, now a code on how to bypass it. And here it's talking about other things you can do. I think here it's talking about creating, yeah, user agent. And finally, where does they talk about themselves? Yeah, using a scraping APIs here. So you can see at the end, they are subtly mentioning themselves. And the cool thing is they are even not creating an internal link to themselves. So they are just mentioning their name and just talking about like how easier it would be if you want to use a scraping API like a scraping. And all the contents I already created here for you have this angle, have this edge that you can use. So make sure that you use it. The other content strategy that you can like take advantage of, and you should take advantage of, is creating listicles. So most SaaS products skip this part, but I think it's honestly one of the easiest ways that you can get traffic in 2025 and 2026 probably. It's just creating comparison articles like top 5 web scraping APIs or top 10 YouTube scrapers in 2025. You create these listicles that you mention yourself, and the good thing about your niche is you are not limited by just one or two content angle. You can go and create like top 10, then the category of scrapers or these like specific brands. Like here is YouTube, it can be Glassdoor, it can be Indeed, it can be LinkedIn, it can be anything. Scrapers 2025. You can go like top 5 languages for web scraping. You can play around with it in many different ways and create a content for it. Like probably most of them would have a like medium to high keyword difficulty, but still, um, what we are trying to do is build your topical authority and help you like have the content in place in order to capture the traffic when we like build the authority and build the backlinks. But let's move on, because the next thing is something that I'm pretty sure most of engineers or most of my audience, which are either engineers or web coders who hate marketing, would love, which is pSEO. The web scraping niche is perfect for pSEO. There are many ways to do it, but I picked the like one strategy that I think it can be actually useful and also bring revenue, not just traffic. But it requires to add one feature to Parse.bot, but it might be something that you might already have it in your roadmap, and it's something that I think you probably would benefit from. So what you need to do is build a marketplace or app store of pre-built scrapers. So if someone wants to, for example, scrape LinkedIn or YouTube, they can just pick um, one of those scrapers and use it instantly. You can let your customers to like create those scrapers or publish the scrapers they already created. So you have UGC content in your marketplace, or you can create an app store that is like filled with only scrapers that you or your team built, tested, and like make sure it works perfectly. So the question is now, how does that feature, how does that marketplace or the App Store can turn into a pSEO strategy? I think that's the easy part, because once you have that feature ready, all you have to do is do exactly what your competitors are doing, which is you create a pillar page that in this pillar page you are going to list all the scrapers you have in your marketplace or app store, and then for every scraper you have, let's call them scrapers, for every scraper you have, you also create a dynamic landing page. So this landing page is like they built this template once and they are just using it like multiple times for all of the different scrapers they have, and that's exactly what you want to do too. And if you look here, like I can even show you, like if you look at the template, it's all the same for all the different scrapers. But the question is, what if you didn't want to add this feature? What if this wasn't something that you wanted to, add to your product? Well, I think you can still leverage pSEO with the same strategy, but the only difference is you should follow what Lovable did. So I broke down Lovable pSEO strategy, which they was doing correct, but the problem with their pSEO strategy was they was scaling too fast. They was publishing too many pages that most of them didn't have any like meaningful keyword. But for your case would be different. And what you can do is just see what your competitors are doing, like just check them, just check what brands, what websites they are publishing and scraper for, and create a similar one in your own product. And you create the landing page, just like what we talked about. You create the pillar page, just like what we talked about. But for your CTA, instead of telling them, hey, sign up and you can use this app or this scraper directly, what you can say is, just like Lovable, you just show them the prompt that they can copy and paste in Parse.bot in order to create this scraper themselves. So this would be the easier solution to that. I think you can probably like implement this pSEO strategy right away. But yeah, that's basically what you have to do. Instead of putting the CTA to sign up and use the scraper, you actually give out the prompt and tell them to like what prompts to copy and paste in order to create the scrapers themselves. So let's talk about free tools. I noticed you don't have any free tools on your website, so I came up with few ideas that you can add. These can help you bring traffic and build topical authority at the same time. And since building free tools is so easy nowadays using AI, there is no real reason to not have them. So like I put few ideas here that you can select either like maybe 3 to 4 of them or all of them and just build it. And what you have to do when building these free tools is just to make sure all your free tools have a like good structure, good on-page structure in order to first of all have a good UX, and second of all be like ready to get cited, get indexed and get rank higher in Google and other search engines. So in order to do that, what I like to do for free tools is make sure the primary keyword is in the H1, which is like always, which is something that you have to follow in all of your landing pages. So even the pSEO pages, your main landing page that we talked about, and also now in your free tools. So this is just a rule that you have to remember. Primary keyword in H1, in the short description, in the title tag, and the description tag. Then what you want to do is put the tool in like in front of user. It should be probably in the hero section, the first thing that user sees. Then what you want to do is add a few like supporting content, because eventually we want to show search engines few other keywords, few other variations of the primary keywords uh, about that free tool, and add a little bit of depth to your page. What I like to do is add an FAQ. It can be just a 2 or 3 question related to that free tool or to what that free tool is doing. So I like to do that. And finally, a clear CTA ready to capture those traffic and convert them to users or even paid users. And that's basically it. It's really simple, and I really think like there is no reason why you shouldn't build them. It probably would take a weekend of your time and can absolutely help you to bring more traffic and build more authority. Okay, now we get to the part that every SaaS product literally have to do it, but many of them sleep on it. And it's creating comparison pages or alternative pages. It's the number one hack that I suggest to all of my clients and basically everyone that has a SaaS. But I don't know like why no many people do it. So basically what we want to do is steal traffic from the brand name of your big competitors. Your top competitors already like spend so much time into building their brand, creating this awareness. But of course, there would be tons of people that, for whatever reason, are not satisfied with the result or their pricing. So for whatever that reason is, they are shopping around for an alternative solution. So what you have to do is to make sure to be prepared and ready for whatever or whenever someone is searching for an alternative solution, you are ready to be there. And that's exactly what you have to do. What you can do is actually look at Crisp and check how they are doing this strategy, because I believe they are killing it. So if you open Chris, you would notice they have this pillar page, which in that page they are comparing Crisp to all of their competitors. And if you open any of them, you would notice they are, first of all, they are targeting the alternative keyword. So alternative to the brand name, which is here intercom. And then they have like another paragraph here, which again, if we look, let's see, Crisp AI features, Crisp omnichannel shirt, what makes it competitor to intercom. So here they are targeting the competitor to intercom keyword, right? So it's really important that you also look how they are like targeting these keywords, how they are writing this content. If we scroll down, we notice they are targeting intercom alternative keyword. So at first, the primary keyword is alternative to intercom, but they are also targeting intercom alternative, right? And in the content, you would probably notice comparable, like compare, alternative, and like there is tons of content that they put in here with a good UI. They have an FAQ, and as I said, the goal here is to create pages, create content that is visible for the time that someone is searching for an alternative solution to your competitor. And what you have to do is create an alternative page for all of these big competitors or any other competitor you know that are big. They have search volume, they have traffic, they have a good brand name, and also they are like doing obviously similar thing as what you are doing. No matter how good your on-page SEO is, or how your technical SEO is, or what is your website load time, backlinks are still the number one factor in rankings. If you want to show up in Google and inside LLMs, you need backlinks. So here is what I suggest you to do. Start with niche edits and brand mentions, because they are usually cheaper and also faster than doing PR campaigns. And what you can do in order to find them is just search for, type of content that is already ranked on Google, and also search in ChatGPT for type of queries that people would search for. For example, search for best web scraping APIs, best AI scraper, or ask this in ChatGPT and see what articles are already ranking. And then just go find the routers, ask them to like, hey, how would it be to mention our brand in your article? If you have an affiliate plan, you can suggest that. Make sure you negotiate, because there is always tons of room for negotiation. And I know it's boring, but that's basically one of the most leveraging things you can do in order to show up really, really fast, both in LLMs and search engines like Google. Also, another angle that you can go for when creating this, when searching for this kind of articles, is not only search for listicles, for example, like best AI scraper, no-code web scraper, AI scraping APIs, or these kind of things, but also search for tutorials like web scraping in JavaScript with Puppeteer, or web scraping in Python, and go for this kind of educational content. And as just we talked earlier, in your content strategy, go and find the author and like tell them, hey, we have this affiliate plan. Like, are you willing to mention our brand at the end as a better solution, or as an alternative, or as an easier way to scrape with Python or Node.js or JavaScript? And try to get links in those type of contents can be also helpful. Of course, it can be helpful in building your domain authority and building your in general authority, but also since that is something we want to do in your content strategy, it would be really helpful to do that in your link building strategy too. So that's another angle that you can think of it and you can do it. It's not like high priority as these other keywords are, but it's still something that I think can bring you meaningful traffic and meaningful like users that can actually convert. Oh, and by the way, since your domain rating is already below 20, it's right now 12, I strongly recommend you to start with directory backlinks, which we can help you with that. And with high quality directory backlinks, we can easily push your domain rating to above 20. And you also get a solid brand mentions with directory backlinks, which is like really useful if you want to, pop up in AI search and AI mentions. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the roadmap. All these steps I wrote here are meant to be done step by step, especially the first one, improving your landing page. The only thing that you don't have to wait for it, and in fact, it's better to do it as soon as possible, is building backlinks because it takes time for the backlinks to actually be indexed and also find all those authors, reaching out to them. It takes time. So for the backlinks, you can do it in parallel with the other things, but the other steps, it's best if you do it one by one. And that's exactly how I would grow your product if I was your SEO agency. I hope you like it. I hope you got the, useful insights from it. And let me know what you think. Peace.